Hey everyone, Sandy, the badass business coach here. Yes, I am outside at a cabana at the pool working because it's just gorgeous out. Yes, hopefully you're having a gorgeous day wherever you are. I know Florida's getting the hurricanes now too. So, anyway, hope you're doing well and thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining again once again for the weekly podcast No More Excuses. Yes. And today I'd like to discuss mistakes. Yes, we all make them. I hate them myself. I'm a recovering perfectionist, and it's so hard to see that mistake. Still hard to make a mistake after all these years. But calling myself a recovering perfectionist allows me to, I don't know, maybe laugh at myself a little bit, depending on the mistake, and learn how to own it. We all make mistakes personally and professionally. I mean, personally, it can be something just so silly, like choosing the wrong checkout line or missing the exit. I actually missed an exit twice because I was on the phone, not holding my phone, just on the phone, but my daughter was in the car and I literally kept getting in the wrong exit or entrance and did it. And she was laughing at me, but also we were late. So choosing the wrong checkout line, missing, so you're delayed. You see the other ones just going faster and faster than you, and you're like, okay, the person in front of me only had like 3 items, right? But somehow there's a reason, right? And some of you are probably thinking, well, I chose the wrong person to date or marry to. Well, we've all been there, or not all of us, but I have. You know, what do we learn from those mistakes? Maybe to pay more attention, maybe to ask more questions, maybe to not make hasty decisions or make assumptions that just because this person has less items than the other person, it's going to be faster, right? A big shift for me was years ago when I had to learn that things do happen for a reason. I actually got delayed. Oh, being an engineer's daughter and a recovering perfectionist, I hate being late. And I was late. I had to wait on someone to finish something, and I was probably about 10 minutes late. Guess what? Well, had I left on time, I would have been in a huge ass accident probably. Because as I was, you know, trying not to speed, but I was because I was late. I drove up and saw these cars. It was a freaking hot mess. I realized that delay probably saved my car, my day, and who knows, maybe saved me from having some injuries because it was bad. It was a freaking bad accident. So, just thinking about that, going, "Whew," sorry for those people, but that could have been me. I'm in the wrong line at the grocery store. I like to laugh it off because shit just happens because maybe I was assuming, like I said, assuming that person had less items or assuming that cashier or whatever was going to be faster or the person in front of me didn't have a bunch of questions. Who knows? Yeah, I've made a ton of personal mistakes. I've chosen the wrong outfit. You're too cool, too hot, uncomfortable, whatever. Yeah, I've chosen the wrong guy, the wrong lane in traffic, and the wrong recipe or wrong seasoning in a recipe. You got to pay attention, right? So, learning from those mistakes, paying attention, slowing down, asking questions, sometimes laughing it off, but sometimes not assuming. All right. You know, how do you handle mistakes? What do you do when you make one? Especially if it's a professional one and it includes a client or something public. Mm, Sometimes it's hard to admit you made a mistake. It hurts your ego. You're thinking, okay, I'm not perfect. My self-image, my reputation is shit now, right? But like I mentioned, you've probably experienced it when you've made a mistake and cost you money. It can, it just hurts your ego, hurts your mindset because you're thinking, damn it, why didn't I just do that? Why did I choose that? Why didn't I pay more attention? Why didn't I? Right? I've been there so many times. I'm sure you have as well. Making mistakes, like I said, can be expensive, be painful, but it can create the opportunity to learn and grow. But the question I'd like to ask you, how do you own it? How do you own the mistake? especially when it's public. Years ago, for me, many years ago, I was a chamber executive. This was back in Indianapolis, and I owned mine. Man, there was 2 banks that had a similar name, and in front of over 250 people, I mispronounced the name, and I caught it as soon as I said it, because they all looked at me, the whole table looked at me. And why was it such a big deal? Because they were a very large sponsor. Seems like an easy mistake to make, and you should just slough it off, but no, they were a very large sponsor. So guess what? I corrected myself and I repeated it 10 times, their name. I repeated their business name 10 times. So at that point, they all laughed, and it helped me build credibility because I owned that mistake. We created a stronger business relationship because I owned that mistake. I apologized in front of everyone, including the mayor. So what did I learn? Slow down and pay attention. I learned from that point on to learn how to say people's names, to pronounce people's names, to ask if you aren't sure, right? And one that cost me a lot of money was a typo on a brochure, a simple little typo, but it was important and I had to fix it. And it cost me thousands of dollars. And I was a startup. That was my marketing firm startup. I didn't have thousands laying around. I just paid to buy equipment and rent an office and all that shit, right? Luckily, the printing company understood where I was coming from, my position. I was authentic. I shared a little that was very uncomfortable. I shared that I didn't really have the capital to reprint it, to pay for it right then. And they allowed me because they understood. And I asked, I was kind, and they probably saw my desperation. They allowed me to make payments. I did it very fast, but what did I learn? To ask for help. I could have had someone proofread it, but I was hurrying up. Once again, slow down. And what about you? Have you owned a mistake? Big, small? I mean, putting the wrong seasoning in the dinner seems like a small one, except when you go to take a bite and it's like taking a drink of iced tea when you think it's like a Coke or a Pepsi. You're like, "Ew," right? What have you learned from making your mistakes? It's not like you have to run an ad on a TV, put a billboard up and say, "I'm sorry," but acknowledging your mistake and owning it, apologizing it, making it right, whatever you need to do. Admitting you've made a mistake makes you more human, makes you respected more and viewed as a stronger leader because you are human. 250 plus people heard me own my mistake. People respected me more. They acknowledged it afterward. Other people came up to me afterward and said how uh, they thought that was pretty cool that I did that. It was embarrassing as hell. My armpits were sweating. My face was red. I'm standing there in front of 205 friggin' people with the mayor, and I had to do that. Had I not done it, I doubt I would have had the respect from the bank. I doubt would have had the respect from other people. Some people you see just laugh. Oh, I just made that mistake, but no way. I could not just let that go. I could not just laugh that off, right? You know, One of my favorite sayings, and you've sort of heard me say part of it, slow down to speed up. One of my clients, as soon as we get on Zoom or we meet in person, he knows he's going to hear it from me. He actually will say it before I know I need to slow down to speed up. So what does it mean? Just what it says. Just, yeah, slow down. Pay more attention. Reread a text, an email, a social media post, a brochure, whatever you're typing. My books, when I wrote them, I think there was a typo that went to print in the first one. If you don't have to go back and fix something, you'll speed up. So slow down to speed up. You'll have more time to do other things. You'll have more time, maybe to do more fun things, right? So I'd love to hear from you this week. Share in the comment section, email me, Sandi at sandiballard.com, how you have owned a mistake, big or small. So share a mistake, how you owned it, how you fixed it, and how you think you can slow down to speed up, what that means to you. And if you check out my website, badassbusiness.coach, I've got a free group coaching session coming up. Okay. So check it out. There's a few dates on there. I'd love to have you on there and actually see some of you, my podcast listeners, in person. Well, on Zoom. So, and then I found this article written by Tracy Brower. See, I just probably mistakenly or mispronounced her name. Yes, I'll get it. Tracy Brower, PhD. This was in Forbes. The summary of her article. Ironically, it is confidence which allows us to admit mistakes and seek input. When you have a strong sense of self, you don't have to know it all. You can, and you make the room to learn more from multiple points of view. In a world that is increasingly polarized and judgmental, your ability to listen, appreciate, and learn will set you apart and create a pathway toward greater leadership, performance, and a more fulfilling work and life. Because talk a lot about alignment, right? So own those mistakes. Be known as that person that admits they're human, right? The bottom line is it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to make mistakes. Just be sure to be humble, be honest, own it, and accept the opportunity to learn from it. Again, I look forward to hearing from you. Badassbusiness.coach. Email me. Post here in the comments section. A mistake, how you owned it, fixed it, and what you can do to slow down to speed up. Cheers.